Well, the second round of the ICC Cricket World Cup Challenge League B does come to an end today here in Kampala, Uganda. Two games are going on at the moment where we are at the cricket oval in Lugogo. Bermuda are taking on Italy, while at Chambogo you have Kenya who are taking on Hong Kong. Uganda did play all their 5 games yesterday. They were able to win 3 of those after losing the opening 2. And of course, that will be the center of our discussion. Joining us later on in the show will be the head coach of the Cricket Cranes, Lawrence Mahatlani, together with the opening batsman Simon Sesazi. And later on, we shall be chatting a little bit of the Victoria Powers because Janet Mbabazi will also be joining us. But as always, I'm not alone on set. I wouldn't say in studio. I'm not alone on set. I am joined by Emanzi Diamhachi together with Shaban Rubega. Two gentlemen who are clad in black and khaki pants. But good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Clive. Good afternoon, Shaban, and the viewers out there. I think it's a good day to be here after what happened yesterday.
Though yesterday would have been better.
But we are still celebrating as Uganda, so the celebrations go on.
Shaban, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I know Clive had to rub in the catchy parts, but it's okay. And good afternoon, Emanzi. Good afternoon, everyone watching us on CTV. Wonderful, wonderful day to be here, and we'll let you know why it is wonderful for us.
Well, Shaban's submission does tell you a thing or two, is that the Cricket Cranes are on top of the log after 10 games. They have won 8 of those and of course lost only 2. I'm saying 10 because of the first round that was played in Oman. They won 5 of all the 5 games they played here in Kampala. They won 3 of those 5 games they played, and there is a third round that will be played in Jersey in August, where if they get to win all the games or if they get to maintain their status on top of the logo, they do qualify for another qualifier where they will actually be playing ODI cricket, but of course with a big chance of attaining ODI status. But gentlemen, of course, like we did say, we have games going on at the moment, but maybe just to wrap it up, especially on the side of Uganda, I'll start with you, Manzi. What was your highlight?
Well, maybe the catch by Francois Souga yesterday because it was right in front of me. In front of the media center, and that was huge. But I think from the bigger picture, beating Kenya and being able to get our third win of the tournament after a false start, I think was very important. And it means that to stay top of the log, which is must have been the target for the entire team going into the tournament. And it was very important that we get a result at home. The crowd was good, and I think overall, yesterday's result will probably stand out the most throughout all the wins that we've had over Italy and Bermuda. And mainly because we've had a few challenges. There was a talk starting to come up about our inability to play at home and get results. I think that was put to bed yesterday with that massive display of batting by the team, and I think overall it was a good day of cricket, because if you look at what we did in the first innings and how we buried Cheuta's pace and all the guys that managed to put in a shift in the bowling, then when it came to chasing 220 runs, something that maybe Uganda has struggled with the bat. We scored less than 100 against, I think, Hong Kong. And we've had terrible days of batting, but I think yesterday was one of the highlights. So at 220, you have the crowd on their feet, and they are not sure whether we can chase them. And the team comes out with such a performance in front of the home crowd. I think it does not get any bigger than that.
Shaban, 5 games played, losing the first 2, winning 3 on the bounce. I don't know if you have any highlight from those 5 games.
I think our ability to overcome adversity, because when we lost to Hong Kong and Jersey, you would expect a few heads to sink, but the ability of the team to bounce back with 3 straight victories, I think that was my highlight. And Emanzi here mentions the victory over Kenya, and after watching them put up 220 runs, I was thinking back to 2017, and I was like, probably this is not going to happen again. And lucky for us, the boys got the job done with the bat. Yes, I know we have had issues with the bat in the recent past, but recently I've seen several improvements from that tour in Namibia, and the boys have come back here to Uganda and proved that they are improving by the day, and hopefully this can be another stepping stone to us achieving ODI status, and eventually in the next couple of years qualify for the showpiece event.
Well, of course, in a few moments from now, we shall be joined by the head coach of the Cricket Cranes, Lawrence Mahatlani, on set. And with him, we shall be having a chat or two here. And there, of course, he keeps on talking about how they have their destiny in their own hands, how it is a privilege to play under pressure and all that, but also what it will take, because much as they're still playing in this 50-over World Cup qualifier, also in a few days from now, they are traveling to Zimbabwe, where they'll be taking part in another qualifier for T20 cricket. Something that many people believe is actually a busy season for the Cricket Cranes.
Busy season, and of course it was very important that they get a result at home. And for me, losing the first two games of the tournament, tough, but if you look at the competition that is here, you would say that those are two of the tough teams that you expected to challenge Uganda, and they did manage to do that. You've seen a team like Jersey putting up over 300 runs in a game, and that's how tough it has been. And I think you have to give the Cricket Cranes the benefit of doubt when you look at what they've been able to do throughout this tournament, and of course they have to prepare for the coming events. When you talk about T20, I think in Namibia we did so well in that trial tournament that we went for. And I think if you look at the batting of Simon Sesazi, the performance that we had from other guys like Dinesh Nakrani, it shows you that we are a team that is progressing quite well. And we wait and see what happens in the next encounters.
Shaban?
For me, I've been impressed, and these guys continue impressing me, because when we won those 5 games in the first round, many people thought that probably we could get complacent in one way or another, and a disastrous start for us. But the coach, Lawrence Mahatlani, kept on ensuring us that the team would bounce back. The adjustments has been making throughout the first games have been top-notch, and despite the fact that we didn't win that game against Jersey, which I thought was going to be hard, because after losing in the fashion that we did against Hong Kong, I knew the boys were under pressure, and looking at the way Jersey have been batting throughout the second round of the league, I think they've been exceptional, and they will be one of the teams that we will have to watch out for, because currently we're only 2 points behind, above them rather, and the loss to them in Jersey means that we are level. That also means that we would have lost 2 out of the 3 matches we played, so they will be on top of us. But all in all, I have immense confidence in whatever the Cricket Cranes are doing, and big ups to the Cricket Association, because they have ensured that despite of the busy schedule that they are in at the moment, there are no complaints. They are taking on the matches they are supposed to be taking on, and I understand they'll be flying out of the country to go for that T20 qualifiers, and after that they'll be able to go for the third phase of qualification, and hopefully we can still be on top after the third round and qualify for the next phase.
Well, of course, like we did say, in a few moments from now, we shall be joined by the head coach of the Cricket Cranes, Lawrence Mahatlani, probably to be Shaban to pave way so that the coach gets to join him on set. He has had, I don't know how long his days have been, I don't know how long his nights have been, but of course, he's a man that has been a little bit under pressure. First of all, coach, good afternoon. How long has last night been?
Good afternoon, Bob. I think we've been given 24 hours a day, and yeah, I think I managed to get good 8 hours sleep.
8 hours?
I hope so. I heard it's a healthy one.
Has it already sunk in? I mean, there was a bit of scare in the opening 2 games, losing both those games against Jersey and Hong Kong. Team recovered against Bermuda, Italy, and eventually they win against Kenya. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it most probably has, because you obviously have to do the maths. You know, it's a 15-game program, and yeah, we're under the pump, especially after the first 2, being at home and sitting in a position where the advantages that we had gained in the previous tournament could have easily dwindled away very quickly. So yeah, I think that was, for me, the excitement yesterday was just the amazing crowd. I thought the crowd was outstanding. I thought just seeing the smiles on the people's faces, and we had to reward them. You know, after the first game, which we lost, the crowd stayed behind. They applauded the boys even after the second game, and we had to reward them by playing to our standards.
Yeah, coach, it was a tough start to the tournament. 2 losses. How did you bounce back? If you look at the performance against Bermuda and the rest of the games, how was it? How tough was it, or how easy was it for you guys to bounce back?
Yeah, I think it was quite easy. I think for me, what had to happen was less noise. Just being at home, you guys spoke about it. Everybody has spoken about the last tournament being hosted here. So how do we address those ghosts from Christmas past? You actually just allow the boys to play the brand of cricket they've been playing for 18 months. All of a sudden, being at home, you're a lot closer. There's a lot more people accessible to you, a lot more advice. And I think after the second game, I said to the guys, you guys need to get tighter, you know? You need to stay together as a team. As a coaching staff, we're also going to step away a bit and allow you to be you. And I remember the night before, after that night, the boys went out for dinner just by themselves and had frank conversations about who they are, the quality of cricket they play. And I think they showed it in the last 3 games.
And then, looking at how you kept on juggling your team, especially the order and stuff like that, especially in the batting. Yesterday, everyone was surprised when the number 2. Was that the biggest concern every time a game ended? Because I don't remember us having a stable order, apart from Cesar being the opener and these others following.
Yeah, I think, you know, unfortunately, our opening batsmen struggled in the tournament. And I thought Brian Masaba was brilliant as captain to stand up and say he'll take the responsibility.
Was it his decision or your decision?
It's his decision. He's the captain ultimately. We had a discussion. It was a suggestion. There are 4 or 5 of us that sit down around the table. And he said he'll take it on for the team. And I thought he did a great job. He was very unlucky the way he went out because I thought him and Simon, for the first time, gave us a stable start.
Yeah, and maybe coach, of course, we've talked about the tough start to the tournament, but when you look at the performance, especially in the 3 games that we managed to win, what are those takeaways that you go with in the next round?
Yeah, I think it's just the standards we're capable of playing. You know, everybody got excited yesterday because apparently it's the first time that we've chased 200 without a panic, 220 for 3. But if you look at our progress over the last year and a half, the guys have been very comfortable chasing. And all 3 games we won, we chased. I thought I must give credit also to the bowling side. Because, you know, Kenya had 196 for 4. You're thinking you're chasing 280 to then bowl them out for 220. Something very special. Young Cosmos Chauta was world class yesterday. That's the kind of things we saw in bowling in Namibia. So it's about, for me, the takeaways, as the question was, is how do we build on this consistency? How do we not go up and down? How do we get Cosmos bowling at 140 plus consistently? Miyagi doing the same. The batter spending time out in the middle consistently.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that, still it was a big crowd out yesterday, a good win against Kenya. But when they put down 220 runs, what was going through your minds? Did you have any worries in your mind? Because I can tell you there are many fans out there that were worried about that, and the cricket queens are chasing. What was going through your mind and the minds of the team?
I think again, in a funny way, I addressed it a bit earlier. It's about getting rid of ghosts from Christmas past. Because if you think of last year's series against Kenya, we chased 280 at Chambogo to win. If you think Namibia, we chased 269 to win. So this group of players have showed that they're capable of it. It was just, and again, the first game at 80 of the last 10, we would have backed ourselves 9 times out of 10. So this group of players have showed they can do it. So for me, it was them understanding what they've been able to do and just going to do it. So there was really no panic.
Yeah, before we talk the trip to Zimbabwe, of course you have 5 more games to come in Jersey. That should be in August. What I will ask again, what does it take to attain ODI status?
Maybe you could just emphasize how close are we to ODI status?
Okay,
what do we need to do in Jersey?
So this is what happens. What happens is when we top the World League B,
Yeah.
okay, Canada at the moment are top of World League A. The 2 top teams then join the 4 bottom teams. Then those 6 teams next year, April, play for 2 weeks, compete against each other, and then the top 4 from that group then go on to ODI status. So it's
The
still
top 4 attain.
attain.
So we have to be in the top 4.
Yes. So basically, where we are at the moment, we're most probably 12 games away from ODI status. And given that, it takes me back to a year ago, April, when we went to Namibia and lost 5-0. And I had to explain to the players that everybody talks about ODI status, but they don't understand Namibia are ranked 19th. So to achieve that, we're going to have to kick out Namibia. So it's not as if it's just a given that it's going to happen. It's important that we understand what it is. It's Namibia, it's USA, it's Papua New Guinea, Oman are also at the bottom of it at the moment. So it's 4 very strong sides.
And while you're explaining that, you actually don't even discuss the World Cup routes because even me until yesterday I thought by being in the top 4, we actually go to India. Until I realized that there's actually another round that we
Another
have to-
qualifier. Yeah, I think the best setup that ICC have come up with is obviously for the 2024 T20 World Cup, where Africa as a continent has got 2 spots. And those 2 spots, as we stand at the moment, will be decided between Namibia, Kenya, Uganda, Botswana, Nigeria, and Tanzania. So 2 of those 6 teams are guaranteed to go to the 2024 World Cup. But the other one, we still have to go, not only do we have to get into the top 4, we then have to go into global qualifiers where a country like South Africa at the moment, who are ranked 11th, will be.
Are the global qualifiers.
If they don't improve their rankings at the moment. So it's quite an extended process. I know we make it sound simple, but
On paper it sounds simple. But away from the 2023 World Cup or the 50
Yeah.
over World Cup, there's also now the small detail of the T20 World Cup. The team should be in 7-8 days time for Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
For more qualifiers, one would wonder, isn't this too much cricket on these boys? Do you have enough depth for them to be able to compete favorably in both these qualifiers?
when we put the dream across, I remember presenting to the board, I presented the 2024 dream of getting to the World Cup. And I said to the boys, it's up to you. And the boys, I think for me, have worked hard enough and they've put in the effort and they deserve to do it. They deserve to go out there and try to prove themselves. And again, you must remember that a World Cup could benefit every single player in terms of you arrive in Australia this year at a T20 World Cup. If Cosmos Chota bowls the way he did yesterday, if Juma Miyagi bowls the way they did, he's done this tournament and in Namibia, I can't see anything stopping those 2 kids playing in the IPL next year. So all of a sudden we're talking a different language. So trust me, it's like somebody asked me what my game speech for the last 3 games was, go enjoy yourself. And it's going to be the same concept, is you've done the work, go put it out there and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, and maybe you mentioned Cosmos Cheuta and Juma Miyagi. Add to that Simon Cesar's a
how
good.
special is he doing?
How special? That's what I need you to tell us because he's been the most reliable batsman that you've had throughout the tournament. Just how good is this young crop of players when you look at them, because they still have a lot of cricket.
Yeah, but I have a question about Simon after you've answered that.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting, because one of the biggest things for me is how quickly they learn. If we look at how Simon Sisasi has been dismissed in the tournament in the first 4 games, and it didn't even need an session, it was a conversation, this is what you must try and do, and you watch how differently he batted yesterday. It just tells you how quickly these kids learn, and I don't know, I call him the Iceman, because I don't think anything moves the man.
And about Simon, exactly. These are conversations that the media has had from the time the tournament started. The opening game against Jersey, he scores a 50, the crowd gives him a standing ovation, he applauds and stuff like that. Before you know it, he's out on the next ball. You thought he should have stayed longer. just thought in that moment probably lost concentration or something?
Well, you're still watching the Sports Dish. Clive Jazzy is my name, in good company of Shaban and Demazi here. And yes, we are not usually in studio. We are coming to you live from the cricket hotline here in the It is the ICC Cricket World Challenge League tournament.
The second round is coming to an end today. Of course, Uganda played all their 5 games yesterday. We have games that are supposed to be going on at the moment. Where we are, Bermuda are supposed to be taking on Italy. That game is done. But also in Chambogo, Kenya are taking on Hong Kong. And Shaban here should be giving us an update.
Yeah, the game between Italy and Bermuda has just ended, and Italy have won by 10 wickets.
Wow.
It tells you so much about how Bermuda have been approaching
How Bermuda were on holiday in Kampala.
Yeah, they have only 1 point, and that point came in the no-run against Hong Kong in the first round. They have lost all the 5 games they have played in Kampala, and honestly, no one was expecting them to win this one. And then the game in Chambogo, like Clive has told you, currently Hong Kong are batting, and they're chasing 135 that Kenya have managed to put on board. And you would think that the way they have been batting throughout the first 4 games, it should be easy for them. And if they win that one, they go into second. That is just a point behind Uganda going into the 3rd round. But if somehow they don't win, it means that they stay in 3rd. That is 3 points behind Uganda and 1 point behind Jersey, who managed to win their last game yesterday.
Yeah, because after winning all the 5 games in the first round, Ghana came
To the second round with 3 points above Hong Kong. And if they do win, that means they go into the 3rd round with just 1 point behind Uganda, which puts you a little bit of under pressure going into the 3rd round in Jersey.
Yeah, and I think we should say when they win, because it's not a matter of if. They are going to, I think they will be able to chase and beat Kenya. So when they win and are 1 point behind us, then of course the pressure is on us. We came into this tournament with the target of winning all the 5 games, but you would say we were terrible against Jersey and Hong Kong, and we lost those games. Now the pressure becomes tougher going to the next round in Jersey. You know that Jersey, like I mentioned earlier, are putting up 300 runs in these games, and have been exceptional with the bat. You think that they will have the home crowd behind them when we go for the next round. And of course, Hong Kong have also been a good team. If you look at how they dismissed us in that game that we played. So it's going to be tougher. It will probably be tougher than it was here at home. And we just have to wait and see. We had the opportunity to win another 5 games at home. We couldn't. We managed to get 3. And you go with that going into the next round. I think the most important thing is that we are still top of the log, and we go into the next round as a team that everyone will be looking at beating if you're going to get the top spot offers. So we still have a chance because we are top of the table, but I believe the next round will actually be tougher than what we had here at home.
Shaban, the priorities, of course, like Emaz has hinted, you have teams like Uganda, teams like Hong Kong, teams like Jersey, badly wanting to get points and qualify for the next stage of the qualifiers, qualifying for the World Cup. And here you are, you have a Bermuda
that is
who are pretty much here on holiday. I saw their game against Hong Kong yesterday. First of all, they partied until 5 a.m. in the morning. They got back to the hotel in Nyonya at 6. And they were required to be in Chambogo by 8:30 or 9 for the game that is.
Yeah, no, someone told me that they told their driver that they will find him at the hotel. So they crossed to show that side of game and maybe went back to the hotel much later. So of course they are not, when you compare them to the rest of the teams in the tournament, they were the weakest that you can look at. And it was an easy way actually for Uganda to bounce back, because after losing to Jersey and Hong Kong, our next game was Bermuda. And it was a perfect fit for us to bounce back and get back into the tournament. But for them, maybe if you consider them as party spoilers, if they come and try to put up a challenge against any of the teams. But I think they are the weakest, and you expect them to lose to everyone.
And for me, it's all about the mindset. After the battering they received in the first round, probably they got to terms with the fact that they are not going to be in contention to qualify from this group, and they came here to Kampala, started enjoying the weather, started enjoying everything that Uganda has to offer, and that has been their story. They have lost by 10 wickets. It's absurd to lose by 10 wickets in a cricket match, but that is what they are all about currently. But I understand that the nation that is a sort of an upstart, and probably in a few years they will be coming back to Kampala and they will be putting up decent performances.
Maybe, Clive, we should say that ideally the second inning should be starting right now.
I know.
Right here.
But
The game is done. The game is done because these guys only managed 119 runs, which Italy really chased quite easily, and it tells you the whole story about how weak they are.
Then somebody at work was telling me yaturekerawo okulima n'okufera abantu mbo twakubye Italy. And I had to tell them, guno si mupiira. This is cricket we are discussing.
I know, and the statement may sound a little bit absurd for someone to just hear that Uganda has defeated Italy, because we all know Italy probably are supposed to be better better than
because
us.
it's European. Actually, his argument was
In everything.
That is the mindset of Ugandans, but you guys should know out there that Uganda is pretty good in some of the sports. Probably, I think we are better than them in cricket. We are clearly better than them in netball and several other disciplines. It was not a shock for us. If we had lost to Italy in cricket, it would be a shock.
It just shows you how good we are as a country and how bad we are. Because if you're this good in cricket and in netball and the rest of the world, but the people cannot even believe you if you come and tell them that Peace Proskovia would be the best player of netball if you took her to Italy, and people cannot believe you. But that's the potential we have as a country. That we do not actually exploit it more is the bad side of it. That I mean, even when you're this good, how come you don't get to the level? It's mainly goes back down to investment, which we have not done in sports. But it shows you if you can compete with Italy, a team that has no challenges when you talk about fans or anything. But as Uganda, you come and put up a fight, you beat them. But when it gets to the serious end of things, the investment is still very low, and that's why you do not see us maybe going places. And